Hey everybody, how you doing? I haven't made a video in a while, so I thought I'd go ahead and decide to make one today on my reloading operation. I've learned a lot about reloading since me and Mike started, and I just want to kind of give you an idea of what was some of the things that I've seen here. So let's go over to the bench and see what I got going here, okay? First things first, okay? This is my rifle. This is a Savage 308 with a McCrease Precision. Stock, chassis system, whatever you want to call it. We all know what that is. Okay. First thing we're going to look at is this little tool right here. See this little thing, the red dot with the gray stick going through it? This case here is modified by Hornady. Okay, it screws on the end of that. And what that is, let me give you an idea here. When you push this little gray rod, see the bullet coming out? Okay, what we do is we take that and we stick that in the chamber of our rifle. We get it in there, and we want to give it a little tap. Make sure it bottoms out. Then we're going to push this gray rod. Give it a nice little snug push. Then we're going to tighten this little set screw right here, okay? We tighten that up, and boom, we pull that out, okay? We bring that over to the table, back over to the table, and we measure it, okay? And the way we measure it is we set our calipers on from this opening here to the ogive. And I've kind of put one out here as an example. See how I got the caliper set here at the back of the casing? Ogive of the bullet, okay? What that's telling us is how far it is from the head of your casing to where your rifling starts on your rifle, okay? Every rifle is different. Not everyone is the same. And this rifle here happens to have a short chamber and a short ogive. When me and Reardon started making ammo, we would measure from the end of our bullets to the back of the casing, and we had a couple that showed some issues. In this rifle, we had a couple that showed issues, pressure signs. You know, primers that were popping out, powder, you know, discoloration at the, you know, back of the casing here. And we figured out, and that's because we were creating too much pressure. So now that I've measured this out, I know exactly what size my bullets need to be, okay, from the ogive, okay? And the most important part about this is you need to take lots of measurements here. You need to take measurements, you need to write them down, because for every piece of ammo that you load, you want it to be consistent. And it's also important to keep in mind, like, these are Hornady projectiles, okay? So the measurement I get on those is going to be totally different than I get on these match grade Sierra federal ammunition, okay? Because the projectile is made by a different company, different specifications on it, okay? So it's just, and we're talking about a couple thousandths of an inch here. To put that in perspective, if you fold this $20 bill in half and you measure that, that's 8 thousandths of an inch, okay? And we're talking about working within 2-3 thousandths of an inch, okay? The way I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna back my part of the batch off 4 thousandths, another part off 2 thousandths, and then I'm going to try to hit it a little bit on the nose, and then I'm going to look and see which ammo works the best for me. Now, when I measured these out, these casings right here, these are ones that I made. I shot, I fired, I cleaned. When I measure those, these have the same shoulder bump back as one that's never been fired and as one of a Hornady match grade. So that tells me that my basic sizing die that I'm putting in my press right here is coming up with the correct amount of shoulder bump that I need. So the most important thing to me is to get this ogive measurement as close and as accurate as possible, and that's going to lend itself to accuracy, trust me, especially at longer ranges. Once I decide, once anyone decides what they want their load and bullet to be, they can work from that, they can set their scope, and they can set themselves up to work off of that, and they're going to be accurate with that. This stuff, I mean, this is the way to create the most accurate ammunition in the world. I don't care what anybody says. Obviously, documentation is everything here. You want to document everything, so when you come back to reload, you can say, well, that bullet worked, that round worked better than the other two. That's what I'm going to go with. So record keeping is important. Like I said, I'll be starting another YouTube channel. I'll be starting my own YouTube channel here soon. When I do, I'll put a link for that, everybody, on Facebook. But until then, be safe and have fun.